Hey there, and welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. Once again, I'm Bubba, joined with Kate, and Matt is flying. Yeah, hopefully. Or not. Maybe he's got a layover. Who knows? But it's just the two of us here on the Season 7 premiere of the Free Play Podcast. And before we get any further into this year podcast, this episode, I want to let you guys know about a really cool thing that we've got coming up, and that is LTN Con. And so you can go to lovethynerd.com/LTNCon or LTNCon.info. Or if you're right here with us on twitch.tv/lovethynerd at 3 p.m. on Fridays, you can just do !LTNCon.
So easy.
All of the information will pop up. It's so
crazy.
Cool.
Technology is.
We want you to be there. We're going to be in southern Indiana, New Albany, Indiana, at Sojourn New Albany. And we want you to come and hang out with us in October. All the information, the details for 14th through the 16th are there. And we would love to have you. We've got some great merch that we're going to be dropping. We've got some great speakers that are going to be there. If you loved anything about what we did at LTNCon online last year, you're going to want to be at LTNCon in person. We've got exhibitors. We've got, like I said, great speakers. Yep. Jacqueline Parrish is our keynote speaker. I'm over the moon jazzed about that, by the way.
Me too.
She did such a great job last year at LTNCon as a breakout speaker, and she came back as one of the highest ranked and rated of our breakout speakers. So we're excited to have her back. And I mean, also, we had her on Church Nerds last season, and we were talking about horror. We had her on for our I think it was our Halloween episode, and she talked about the beauty and goodness in horror and how being scared is not necessarily always such a bad thing and what that brings up in people. And I was like, this is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
Big brain thinking. We should have her on here, right? She'll love the Free Play Podcast.
Oh, I don't know that I would do that to her.
She'll love it. No. She'll love it.
You just want to hang out with her, and I get that. And you did. You had a chance to hang out with her.
Yeah, well, she also heard me say on the phone to Drew that I didn't know I was on speakerphone is Jacqueline there? I want to be your friend so bad. And then he said you're on speakerphone after I'd already said it. So,
which Kate does that a lot.
I'm just trying to redeem it.
You would think that somebody who is a retired Disney princess would be a little less fangirly, but no, she's not.
I don't know how to call it fangirly. Maybe say it's something more normal, like intrigued,
starstruck
by the brain power. How about that?
Okay, that rolls off the tongue a lot more.
That's
well, if you want to fangirl over Jacqueline Parrish, then you can come to LTNCon, like I said, 14th through the 16th. And just go of October this year, 2022. Just go to LTNCon.info or !LTNCon in the chat here on Twitch. Hey, Kate.
Yeah.
Survivor shows. Not just Survivor, but survivalist shows.
I have really been looking forward to talking about this with you. I have purposely barely said anything about it, which has been painful for me. This 10-year-old kid told me to watch Alone on Netflix. And I'm like, okay, because of course I'll do it what the 10-year-old
says.
So, and he said it's a survival show where these people are out in the wilderness by themselves, and whoever's the last one standing wins $500,000. And I'm like, well, I don't really care so much about the money part, but what's this? So out of respect for him, I watched it on Netflix. There was season 8 where these people were dropped off at this lake area in Canada, all separate, right? So they never see another human the whole time they're there. They have to film all their stuff. There's no anything. They're not informed whenever anybody quits. And whoever's the last one wins the money. It is insane.
People will be out there.
I was looking at, how long have these contestants been there? There's been 9 seasons of this show. People have been there from a range of 50 to 100 days, out in the wilderness by themselves, surviving in fall and winter.
Where?
Canada, where Al lives.
Just anywhere in Canada.
Not where Al lives, but there's Vancouver Island. What was the other one? Chilco Lake. watch.
Are
They're not even.
are they close to each other at all, or
the people?
do they ever come in contact with each other?
No, because I think this show started off as a social experiment where they didn't want any human contact, and to see like how it all went, surviving with no human contact whatsoever while competing for a prize with people that you have no idea where you're standing in the competition.
Is it no human contact, like, except for the camera crew?
Well, the camera crew only comes to like do health checks and then they leave. These people have to film their own stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So I was curious about what the barrier of entry would be to film your own self.
Yeah, you have to be able to like adequately work a camera.
And some people are like in their 50s. I'm not saying that older people don't know how to use cameras. I'm just saying that
they just happen to be 50. I got you. I'm picking up what you put down. Yeah.
They just happen to be 50. So there's pre-approved items they can bring so that they don't die, but it's very basic. It's like waterproof winter boots, 1 t-shirt, 1 fleece shirt, 2 hats.
1 t-shirt?
Yeah, 1 toothbrush, 1 photograph.
Look at that photograph.
Yeah. Look at this graph. That one. 1 tarp, 1 sleeping bag. Like very, very minimalistic, like very basic, and everything else they have to do.
They get a backpack though?
They have to do there. No, they don't get a backpack. They get
How do they carry all this stuff around?
It's in 1 bag, but it's not a backpack. I don't know.
Oh, it's like a duffel bag?
I'm scrolling down. Okay, prohibited items. Fuel, lighters, matches, bug spray, sunscreen, map, compass, technology. Food.
No map or compass?
No food. No
what?
Fishing rods, no fishing lures. No purification devices. It is insane. People quit. And you know what is really awful? I felt myself judging some of the people for quitting for their reasons. I'm like, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. You could win $500,000 and you tapped out after 6 hours because you thought you heard a bear in the woods.
6 hours?
I've watched season 8, I've watched season 2, and I'm watching season 9 now. And I'm working my way through the seasons.
So you're telling me that the people within a 6-hour period tap out. And
one person.
Well, I'm just saying within a 6-hour period, and then upwards to 100 days.
Yes. And some of them get pulled out because they've lost too much weight, or because they've gotten injured in some way. That's like, ooh, you can't stay out here. This one girl severed a tendon in her hand with an axe. She had to go. Crazy, right? But for $500,000, they're like, I'll do it for $500,000. I'll stay out here in the wilderness with bears. There's freaking bears. There's a video of like bears running around their like campsites, and they're like, go on, get it. And I'm like,
yeah, I mean, you can't even you couldn't even camp in a tree. Like bears can climb trees.
No, and what season I'm watching right now, there's bears and there's polar bears.
Dude, polar bears are gnarly.
I know. So that's so scary. And that's what made me think was this season that I'm watching right now was, is that too far? Is it too much? Is this this is a game of a type. Survivor is a game of a type. Where is it too far to where some people are probably going to have lasting damage to their bodies and their brains?
I think
because of it, and might not even win.
Well, I mean, only one person can win, right?
Only one person can win. They have to outlast.
Well, that's like Survivor's whole like tagline is
outwit,
outplay, outlast. And like this sounds way more gnarly than Survivor. Survivor's much more of a social game. Like that's 90% of Survivor is social game, because you can absolutely just blow at doing competitions or physical challenges or building fire. At the end of the day, none of it may even come up. It's all about the social game. Can you convince
the immunity
people?
Idol?
Dude, you want a ton of those things. You want to catch every single one of those as they come through. And some people get 0, and some people have upwards to like 3 or 4 during the season, and it's just bonkers, absolutely bonkers, probably more than that. And so hearing you talk about this, like alone, that makes me want to watch it, like in a big kind of way.
Watch season 8. It's on Netflix, as my gammy would say.
Okay, Netflix.
It's
Netflix.
Season 8 was really good. I obviously have a lot more seasons to watch. But it made me think of these two survival shows because one is a social experiment about having no social aspect to the game, and the other is all social aspect to the game with this kind of theme of
other stuff peppered
survival. And although all of it is survival and alone, but what gets a lot of people is they're alone.
Yeah.
And they miss, their
the
families.
isolation.
They're sitting alone with their thoughts, and then they want to leave, and that it just feels weird to me because I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying someone suffering. Is that too far?
You're the target demographic for this show. Here's the thing. So, like, what's interesting that you bring that up, like about people missing their families in Alone, right? In Survivor, you have other people around you all the time, and one of the most like emotional and like gut wrenching portions of the show is Family Week, and like when you win one of the, I think it's like second or third to last, immunities, you like. Your family can come in, or you get to see a video from them, or like whatever.
That's so
like that's a
brutal.
big deal. And so, I don't know, like that. Not like no, there's could be 100 days, and you don't get to see anybody.
No,
I think I would be good for a while, and by a while I mean maybe I might top off at a week, and then I'm gonna be a castaway. I'm gonna be Tom Hanks, man. Like I'm gonna have a I don't know what they have in California, or not California, Northern California. We'll call it Canada. I don't know what they have in Canada that I can like manufacture a thing to talk to. Because my guess is I'm gonna be moving around a lot. That's my guess, right?
these people don't move around that much.
They don't?
They have like set, I don't know how they know if they're out of bounds. They each have like a parcel or some kind of, because you don't see people wander a lot. And part of it, I think, is calorie conservation.
Oh, okay.
But they'll be spread apart like 5 miles away from each other, like up and down a beach or in or around a certain
interesting
lake kind of thing. So I don't know how they don't see each other. Some of them build boats and are out on the lake fishing and the thing building a boat. So
this isn't me. This is not. This is content I want to watch. I'm 6 hours guy. I'm 6 hours guy. If you drop me in like Colorado, I might be all right. You drop me in Canada, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
you'd
already,
be calling up Al saying, "Can you come get me? I know you're on the other side of Canada."
Uncomfortable. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like,
it makes me think a lot because I feel like it brings up bad human traits, like in me, to say, "Wow, I'm enjoying your suffering. Wow, why would you leave for those reasons when I would have tapped out for way less?" Like, what puts me in any position to say, oh, you're sad because you killed a squirrel and then you tapped out after 2 weeks? Oh, come on. Why are you sad you killed a squirrel? You got to eat it. People surviving off snails. Like, why? I get why. Because it's so, people don't want to imagine themselves in that situation, but then they watch other people do it. But it feels like a game that just pushes it. It's like $500,000 is great. And I'd love to have some. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. $500,000 for 3.5 of the most grueling months you will ever experience. I wonder if it's like, hi, my name's Tiffany. I'm an accountant. And, I'm on Alone and I'm ready. Or if it's like, survival experts.
Hi, my name is Rick. And first of all, that's not even my real name. You'll never know my social security number. I'm a former Army Ranger, Special Ops, Navy SEAL. Like, are these the kind of people that are in? I want to watch that. I want to watch everything about that.
It's not your neighbor that lives 3 houses down.
Okay.
In season 8, it's all like survival experts, people who have PhDs in like ancient times living. or hut building.
That's what's up.
So they're no dummies. They have a lot of experience. They're super smart, survivalists, and all this. So in that sense, it's kind of putting qualified people into a situation technically they're qualified for, but then you watch them waste away. And I think somebody lost 100 pounds.
I feel like that makes for way better television, like way better television.
Yeah, it makes good television. I just, it's crazy.
I'm here for that. Like that's the kind of stuff that I want. Like I really appreciate some of the stuff that comes up with like Survivor, or Naked and Alone, or Naked and Afraid, whatever it's called. I also like some of these shows. They're not really like survivally shows, but like what is it called? Like the Greatest Race or Amazing Race.
Oh yeah,
where they travel like across the world, like they're flying across the world and they have to get places and talk to people in different languages and stuff like that. Some of those places they only have a certain amount of money that they can spend and they have to travel. And if you get stuck, you're stuck. Like that's basically all there is to it. And so I really appreciate that stuff. But that's like average Joes, right?
Yeah.
I am all about people that have been training for this their entire life. Mm-hmm. Getting in there and being a part of that. Like that's exciting. It
is so wild. And you just see people like there's people that I really want to root for. I really want them to win. And then maybe something happens, or sometimes it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
This other season I was watching, this guy accidentally tipped his kayak into the freezing waters and was like, nope, I can't be out here in completely soaked hypothermia. So he had to call it. And it was just a mistake. It was just...
You could. You absolutely could.
You could try, but he wasn't even going to mess with it.
Dude, I learned from Bear Grylls how you do it.
And he was in second place. If he hadn't done that, he could have won.
Dude, you burrow into the side of like a snowdrift, and then you get happy birthday suit. You put that thing on, and then you just like you're it's crazy. I don't know if you've seen this episode of what was the name of Bear Grylls show? Why am I blanking on it? I can't even remember.
All I can think of is Survivor Man, but that's not it.
So, but he basically kind of creates just like this tunnel inside the side of a snowdrift, where he creates like a channel underneath him for the cold to drop down into, like, and then Man vs. Wild. There it is.
Man vs. Wild.
For the cold air to drop down into and for the heat to rise. And so what happens is the heat from his body, because there is still some, rises, and it kind of creates this like sheen dome and like creates like this ice over top of him that is his roof. It's just absolutely crazy. Wow. It was like how to survive in an avalanche is what his thing was. It was the craziest thing in the world. And so anyway, like,
terrifying.
But he didn't know that he was in second place. How could he?
He didn't know. So the second he called for help, they were like, won. All right, picked him up and then went and got the other guy and told him they were doing a health check and was like, and then his daughter like walks out of the forest and he's like, which I don't know how they planned all that to get the daughter there, but that, I guess that's none of my business, but
that's crazy. That's
so
crazy.
I think it brings out some bad vibes from humans judging other humans trying to survive and reasons why they quit or don't quit, but I want to see more.
Well, so like case in point about like you're judging, like, because that's what we do, right? We're watching the Great British Bake Off, like I was saying, and these people are just breaking down, tears flowing in every episode. And my 10-year-old Caleb is like, why are they crying? What's that matter? It's just baking. It's just food. And we're like, dude, this is a big deal for them. And seriously, we explained the whole thing, went through it. Every single time somebody cries, like, why are they crying? I'm like, we just had this conversation. Like, it's a big deal for them. Like, this is emotional, you know? Like, it's okay. It's okay to cry when you have a massive amount of emotions. Because for us, we watch this in an hour, but this is, like a culmination of weeks, or even if it's just that first day, like they're talking about how hot it is in the tent and like one guy, like it was so hot in the tent, Kate. He had a glass jar on the desk and it exploded. And he had to start everything all over again because he got glass and all of his stuff. It's crazy. Just absolutely nuts.
That doesn't sound...
They fixed it. It was fine. But yeah, like we're really good about judging other people. We're like super good about doing that. So I think this is a good time to announce that we're going to have the free play rate and review where we just judge people on mundane tasks.
That's terrible.
Might as well.
Well, then I wanted to ask this chat question, and people can write in the chat if you're on Twitch, or you can write to us on Twitter or Instagram.
Ooh, the Instagram.
At Free Play Podcast, however you prefer to communicate. I wanted to ask a question. If you could bring one item with you on one of these survival shows to survive in the wild, and it's like, this was your item that you think was going to really make it for you to have the 500K, what would that item be? What would it be, and why would you bring it?
Limitations?
Not a troll answer. Like, not a troll answer in the sense of like, 3 months worth of food. That would be my item. No. Let's use your imaginations. Like, we already have a good answer in there.
Imaginations.
So we'll come back to that in a second.
So that we need you guys to answer that question in the chat. If you're here on Twitch, we'll read some of those in the next segment.
So I want to see.
And Kate and I will share with you what ours are. We're gonna answer some of these questions from the chat. No. We asked the question.
We asked the questions here.
Yes. And the question was, if you were on a survival show, you could take one item. Didn't really say, anything specific, but
don't want to put it in a box. The question,
unless it's a box, unless the answer is box. What would you pick? What would you bring, Kate? What do we got? Who's bringing stuff?
Wandering Knight is trying to decide right now what the exact one item would be. But here are some of the options. Here are some of the options. I'll read you the options and we'll choose which item.
Okay, we'll choose for you. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll choose. A book on edible plants for the region. Okay. Maybe a book on survival. A lighter or a blade or some kind of multi-tool.
Okay. I think a book on survival.
Oh, yeah, that's what you would go for?
Yeah.
I would pick a multi-tool, but I guess you can't really use the tool if you're,
Yeah. So the book on survival would probably give you some pointers on how to survive. If you had nothing at all, how to fashion a spear, or how to fish with just making a net, or even how to make fire, which is the number one thing that you need to survive is fire. If you have shelter and no fire, you will be unalive very quick.
Yeah.
What else?
That's a good one. Chovy said a keyblade.
Oh.
Said a well-built keyblade you can use for a ton of other things.
Yeah, perfect. So, a keyblade can get you out of almost any situation.
Yeah, and multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box there. So
whenever the Heartless show up, you can just...
Step 1, make a keyblade exist in real life. Step 2, take it into the wilderness.
It's an easy two-step process with a keyblade.
Those are the two. There you go. And Ice Puddle said a lighter.
I do like the idea of a lighter. I do
too. I wouldn't be able to start a fire without something like that. So.
For those of you that are here on Twitch, I have this lighter here that I always take with me anytime I go camping. It's a USB powered lighter that doesn't actually do flame, but it does the it connects a current.
Look at that.
And so this thing it always goes with me, and it also has a whistle on it, and this cable is like paracord, and so it's not like a lot of it, but.
So is that the item? That's the item you would take in?
No. Do you want to know what mine is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so mine is.
If it's not that, then what could it possibly be?
Oh, it's a physician's desk reference. hollowed out. Inside, waterproof matches, iodine tablets, beet seeds, protein bars, NASA blanket, and in case I get bored, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh my gosh.
No, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Well,
and my name is Dwight Schrute.
I feel like
that was Dwight Schrute's answer for what he would take.
You had me at beet seeds. I'm like, beet seeds.
Honestly, I would take something to make fire. That's what I would take, 100%. If it's this, or if it's like flint, like a just some sort of fire starting kit. Yeah, that's what I would bring.
Well, I'm regretting my choice, but it's too late now.
Did you say the Switch? You would bring your Switch?
No, I did not say the Switch. I would not. Although I did consider it briefly, but it would run out of battery really fast. And I wanted to bring a rat trap because it would be a passive way of trying to get little bits of food by setting up the rat trap, going about my business, building the shelter. People have problems with mice and stuff at night. Maybe a squirrel would get stuck in it, and they eat them. So I would put that out, but then I would have no way to. I would have no way of cooking the rat, so
no way of
because I wouldn't be able to make a fire because I didn't bring anything to make a fire.
You didn't bring your survival book. Yeah,
6 hours in, I would tap out like this guy.
Yeah, bring a microwave. There you go.
Yeah, microwave. That's what I would bring.
Well, you could just do what Luke said. He said he'd bring an RV. Genius, absolute genius.
Still within the range of rules because I didn't give any rules.
That's true. It's
I said no
one
troll
item.
answers. So,
hey, is it troll or is it big brain?
I don't know. It could be either.
Is that 1,000 IQ? What is
both
that?
And.
Yeah, I think it's both and. I don't know. We talked about this like a couple of episodes ago in last season, but like from the post-apocalyptic zombie survivalist kind of standpoint. And I'll be real with you. Like again, for those of you who are new listeners, I learned how to make fire because I didn't feel like I had any other discernible skills to make it onto like a zombie survivalist team.
Now I want to make a fire, but I feel like you can't just make fires for fun around here because, California goes up.
Kate, I am in a bad place, like emotionally and, psychologically, because my happy place is around my fire pit. That is my happiest place. And I can't start a fire in Texas because it's bone dry. And we have a burn ban statewide, basically. Wow. And so it's just...
You could do what my uncle and my cousin used to do. They had this cabin out in the forest, still in California.
Okay.
And they would heat up their wood-burning stove that was in there until it turned red. And I mean, bright red. They'd be throwing glass and different types of cans and metals in there to see what would melt and just burn it all day. And then the next day they'd come back and look and be like, wow, this melted. And my aunt's like, we're sweating in here.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So I want to start making a fire now. Maybe if I teach myself, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or it could go horribly wrong.
Hey, Twisted's right in the chat here on Twitch. Friction equals fire. It is conceptually easy, but taking something from conception to actualization, like that's where the hard part comes in. Or
you get a magnifying glass. I used to burn up Jolly Ranchers on the dirt, and then the ants would come, and I'd put the magnifying glass over them, and everybody would go up. But it's not always.
Kate playing real life Sims over here with the ants.
It's not always sunny though. In these places where these people are. So what do you do with my magnifying glass idea when it's not sunny?
Even if there's cloud cover, you can still use that to create fire. But like the conditions have to be right. And I'll tell you, if you are a glasses wearer, you can use your glasses to do that. And hey, the worse your eyesight, the better your chances of starting fire, because the lenses have to focus more. And so that's the thing. Well,
nobody go and start fires because of what we've talked about here. We're just talking about survival, obviously.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you're in a place with bamboo, you have the best chance of starting fires because bamboo is just
Where did you learn this?
Ready. Actually, I learned quite a bit of it from Bear Grylls, quite a bit of it from TikTok, quite a bit of it from Survivor.
He's on the latest episode of Hot Ones, by the way. Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls is? Ooh,
Yeah. He
man,
said he
that
doesn't
makes me
like
want some
spicy
wings
stuff.
right now.
Yeah.
Not those kinds of wings, but I want like wings that I want to eat.